Scared me there for a minute. How are we doing today? I'm Mr. Bander. This is the computer science class here at the Southern Indiana Career and Tech Center. This will be my third year teaching out here, and we are Project Lead the Way course, but we do a little bit more than just the Project Lead the Way courses. We go into a lot more depth of just basic computer logic, but also software development, because when you guys leave here in the Career Center, one thing that I always try to make sure to do is make that freshman year a whole lot easier in college, but also allow you guys have those actual hands-on experience that'll set you guys one step above everyone else out there in college and in the real world. So you guys kind of scared me. I'm just over here playing around with the Raspberry Pis that I'm just working on some side projects, but also some stuff with the seniors here. But hey, I'll tell you what, let me come show you a little bit more about what we do here in this class. Let me get over here to the command center.
All right, so just to kind of share a little bit about what our course does here in the computer science course. We are a Project Lead the Way course, so we cover all four of the actual Project Lead the Way classes, so the applications, essentials, principles, and cybersecurity. But we take what they give us and go into a little bit more depth and a lot more on the computer science side. We use the different languages and kind of work on how actually the software is developed by going through and kind of doing the agile process, using industry tools like GitHub is kind of one of the big ones that we'll utilize for our version controls and everything, but also using our favorite industry tool, and that's this cool website called google.com, and kind of showing how software developers actually do the research of how to actually create some of our products here. But let me kind of go through a little bit more of what we kind of do in this course. We actually start out using MIT App Inventor, which is very similar to if you ever taken a course in Scratch. This is a Android app development course, or where we are able to basically create apps that can go on Android devices, but using this block-based language that almost every programmer has touched at some point, just to get started, kind of understand computer logic and how everything works. And some people have built, for the example, this one was a Hangman. This is kind of like a cookie clicker type game that was really fun. They added sound, but students come in and they start from a basic screen, and they actually add in all the widgets over here, adding the sound and the play and all that, and then they go into the full backside of things and connecting all of our widgets to everything. And we also do some actual more not at game tools, but this one here pulls in the weather. But it actually is doing some high level programming skills where it's actually going out to the internet, pulling in an XML file and bringing in and pulling data apart, which is a very intensive programming and high level concept that we're doing here inside of our block base. So that's kind of where we start out at, just to get us a good feel for programming and kind of the logic, some terminology, like what is a list, and what is how do you pull the different items from a list, and loops and procedures and those basic abstract level skills and concepts. From there, we actually move on to Python, and I'll kind of show you guys a little bit of the games kind of stuff that we create. So these are kind of some different examples that that we will end up building here. Let me kind of show you guys something real quick. So we typically will use Visual Studio Code to actually build our programs. It's kind of another industry tool that we'll kind of utilize and share a little bit on how we develop everything. But this is a lot of this is student work. Here's my version of Snake, but here's a text-based adventure game that one of our students built this year that is basically kind of going back to ye olden times of kind of dealing with blacksmiths and food shop, and just basically input and output basic stuff for Python that later we can start developing into other games and stuff, but also in some higher level code with Python. Let's see if I can't get one of these to run. Let's run Hangman real quick. All right, let's guess the letter. I'm gonna guess. Let's give it T. All right, I got it. Let's guess. I always go for A next. I don't know why. Oops. I'm not gonna keep going. We'll probably end up getting a full Hangman there. So let me go ahead and get out of that. But just some of the other games that like we kind of create. And one reason why we use games is one, they're fun, but also they really build into a lot of the basic ideas of how a lot of programming logic works. This is a snake using our turtle. This is kind of like a infamous, like when you take a programming class, typically you'll create this game. I remember back in the day when on my flip phone, I'd spend hours trying to beat this game, and I actually turned this so that way the speed's a little bit slower. I'm not as fast as what some of the kids are who are able to do this at like warp speed and stuff, but that's kind of a little bit of what we do like on introduction and kind of sharing a little bit more about what we can also do. Let me change over to that data folder. Let me see what was in that data folder. So py data pooler.py. This is basically a small program or small script where we're able to pull in information from this text file, analyzing some of the different information that we had, and basically going into the depths and detail, more data science side of things. So people who are, interested in game design, this is obviously a great one to get into. But if you're looking at data science or informatics or accounting even, knowing a little bit of Python and SQL, which are two languages that we cover in this course, I mean, you're going to set yourself up above a lot of other individuals without those skills in the business world. And that's a little bit of what we do, like on the Python level. This is mostly your junior year, playing around Blockbase, doing Python, and then we'll get into websites. And this is a website that one of my students made that kind of showing a little bit what we did before. We'll eventually get into like image manipulation stuff. This is kind of like my favorite. We're able to pull up a picture of a squirrel and put fire in his eyes. Kind of cool. Also, this was Luigi. Now we turn Luigi into Mario, and just going through and actually talking about like how are pictures set up, like what is each one of these pixels, and how the pixels are developed, and how to put images inside of here. Photoshop 101, but again, we're kind of building Photoshop doing it that way. But yeah, we kind of do some website development here. This is one of my students who was actually able to plug in Google Maps inside of here, show where we're at. But this is the essentials and the principles courses that Project Lead the Way have, but we build upon more and more of this. So we go into HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, show a little bit more examples, some of the Python stuff we do, where we'll get text files of all kinds of information and kind of find different information about the data that we have. And eventually, my seniors are actually working on this project now. They took the material from their junior year, and now they're developing an inventory app. So basically like a web store, basically. In this web store, this is, we're going to sell Hidden Valley Original Ranch salad dressing here. But we're able to go in and develop these a little bit more than what we were in the junior year and have more time to actually develop a product for this information. And what we're going to do eventually is add in some more items and potentially make it into like a web store for our course and stuff. But that's kind of where we end up going. And this isn't just drag and drop. This is actually going in to like developing in Notepad++ or some of the other students were using Visual Studio to develop and actually typing in all the division headers, all the tags. This particular one was connected to Bootstrap, where the students are going through and doing the research on how to make it look a little bit more stylish and more I'd say fun looking and more appealing to the user and stuff. So really developing on the UI and UX experience here. Senior year, we actually are heavy in Java. That's kind of our language that we'll use because Java is utilized in almost everywhere inside of in modern day technology and stuff. These are just two of them. I'll play this one. This is the escape room. This is a fun little game that we got going through the PLTW course where we have a little GUI here. We're trying to get our character to walk around and collect our coins and stuff. But this is kind of what we did within the first 2 months of the program. Oh, we hit a trap. Oops. But basically, going through and kind of taking what they did, which was basically make the character move around, and then we'll add more on doing lives, adding more levels, creating different GUIs and different pictures here. But we also go into more the depth of, on developing into abstract classes, interfaces, inheritance. This is our Pokemon Zoo. Yes, we did create a file for every single Pokemon. Only in the first rev or the first gen. So only the Kanto Pokédex basically. Let me run this real quick. This is where we first started out with this particular project, where basically we're able to just do basic user input and output, but we're able to pull Pokemon and information about Pokemon based on like their types and stuff, and see the individual Pokemon and different things like that. So let me see if I type in bug, what can I see? Oh, we got all of our bug Pokemon from that first Kanto. We're not going to do all like 700, 800 Pokemon, but just get us started. But basically, we're pulling information here back and forth using Java applications. And what we do here with Java, we do build a little bit more using this text base and actually coming in and utilizing like Visual Studio Code to develop a lot of these Java classes. And we go through the basics of understanding, because this is a computer science course. But one thing I like to do once we get above computer science side and understand the ideas of how the classes work, what's the different ideas of how the interruptions work, and exceptions work, and array lists and data types, and then it's kind of getting into the concept of actually applying it. So this is Android Studio. This is kind of like one of the main applications that we do in our course, that I've had students get internships and work with companies actually developing code for their products. This is Android Studio, so this is developing Android apps. And this is coming in. This is just a simple sci-fi generator, but the students came in, they did some drag and drop to get the actual text boxes and labels and buttons in here. But then they actually come in to the actual XML side, the code side, and do some manipulation. Whenever they get done developing their GUI side, then it's coming in and applying the Java that we've developed in Visual Studio and on the side, but actually applying it into the actual code. So this was a simple in and output text manipulator. And we have built-in emulators, but you can actually put these files on your actual Android app. And I've seen some students actually take it and develop a little bit more. And to be honest, I could even see them putting it on the Play Store. But this is also kind of like one of PLTW's projects that we do. Let's see if I can get in here. So this is the basis, but kind of like a journaling app. But we take this code then and add just a little bit more to kind of turn into like a little bit of like a social media app. The social media app is able to push and pull information. So if I had another emulator or another product that's just like this or has the exact same code on it, you could see these files and these trips on their particular device, which is really cool, because the students are able to actually take this, again, real world industry tool. We're able to jump in between different screens and add some information, save this information. But we actually take this now and kind of go through the concepts of, searching algorithms. How do we work with searching algorithms? We'll actually end up take this and push this to a server or a cloud. This is Backendless, which is going through a little bit of the Project Lead the Ways course here. But we'll take it then and add just a little bit more, connecting to Firebase or AWS, some more industry standard tools. But going through and actually developing everything from the ground up. And how do we do this? The software development side of things. Talk about the teamwork aspect of it, and scrums and tools that actual companies utilize. So that's kind of the application side. But one thing I just wanted to talk about too, we are an Ivy Tech course. We have dual credit through Ivy Tech. These are free courses, actually, a free dual credit course. So you can start figuring out now in high school what you want to do for college. But a couple of my students have went off to, again, the Ivy Tech for college. Had a few of them go to UV for engineering and computer science. USI is also a great place that I've had a lot of students go to as well. Had a few students go up to IUPUI for the School of Informatics and Computing, and informatics is becoming a huge industry, and a lot of my students are realizing if I like data, if I like the applied and the UI UX experience, let's go look at informatics here. I've had a couple students go to Purdue for engineering as well, and also Rose-Hulman. Had a few students go off to Rose-Hulman for actually mechanical engineering and computer science. And again, I've had other students go into not just the engineering field, but they go into like accounting, go into medical field, because they're taking the tools that they learned here to help apply to things that they're interested in. This is a great time to start figuring out, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And as a senior, you actually have opportunities to go work as an intern. A couple of students have worked at CP Handheld. I've had one or two of them go down to WNIN and work in their engineering department. Also at Norman Tool, working on developing for their software and also mechanical, and even USI. USI IT department has taken a few of them. So basic idea of what we're needing here. We need students who are strong at working together, going out doing the research. I'd like for you to have Algebra 1 under your belt, and hopefully you're in Algebra 2 or physics. That really helps out kind of more on the ideas of our game design and how everything works on the physics side of things when we actually develop our tools a little bit more in Python, and also when we start looking at some of our data science as well. But kind of one of the cool things about this class is you can start figuring out if you want to develop this or work on computer science and software engineering, if this is something that you're actually interested in, and kind of start realizing it now in high school rather than getting out in college and getting 3 years into college and understand, oh, I don't really want to do this. This is a great time to start. And again, I take students who have never even seen Scratch before and have never touched a programming language before, to students who have already spent time in Python, or students who have done stuff with website. There's a place for everyone inside of this course. So hopefully that kind of shares a little bit more about the computer science course. And if you ever have any questions, always feel free to find me out there on the SIGTIC website, sigtic.evscschools.com, and go apply. Go apply, and if you ever have any questions, you can find me out here, find my email, and I'll gladly answer any questions that you have.
Awesome. So I hope you really enjoyed kind of what we kind of cover, and I hope that intrigues you a little bit. And again, we look for anyone who's interested in computer programming, computer science. A lot of my students who've left this course have went into computer science and engineering, IT support. I have a few students that went over to Shawnee State University for game design, but we even have students who come in here who take the skills that they learned here and over into accounting. They have been into the Navy and the medical field. But again, one thing that's really nice about this course, it gives you these hands-on experiences, and really to actually, what the requirements are for my course is, you know, you can have little to a bunch of programming experience. I look for students who have passed Algebra 1. Hardworking and willingness to adventure is kind of one of the big things as well, because again, we're going to do all kinds of stuff in here, and you guys are going to ask me questions, and we're going to have to figure things out together. And the way we do that, we use our tools like our good friend Google, and Googling all out of our questions, get our Google foo up to work on developing those skills. And you know, it'd be nice if you did take physics or Algebra 2 before coming to course, but again, mostly it's just having those basic research ability skills and everything. And a lot of these skills are stuff that I require from my course, but also industry partners that we have, or those are tons of the skills that they use every single day. And one last thing I forgot to mention too, this is actually an Ivy Tech dual credit course. So when you leave here after taking junior or senior year, you'll have 3 courses out at Ivy Tech that are computer logic, information logic, and also software development are the 3 main courses that you'll take, or you'll get completed in here in the dual credit. So, but yeah, if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to find me on the website, and hope to see you guys next year. Thanks for coming in.